the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
This is ATN Global News. First, the headlines. Military destroys illegal refining sites in Rivers State. DSS arrests El-Rufai's political ally over Governor Sani. Senators reps to resume plenary in newly remodeled chambers. FG says 85% of Nigerians enjoy electricity subsidy. To own Italian club. NSIB probes fatal boat accident over Junior Pope's death. And now the rest of our stories. Our component of Nigeria's military special task force, Operation Delta Safe, has bombarded several illegal oil refining sites and other bases of economic saboteurs in Rivers State. Director Public Relations and Information at the Nigerian Air Force, AVM Edward Gamkwet, who disclosed this in Abuja, said the airstrikes diminished the capabilities of oil thieves significantly and assured that the strikes will stop economic saboteurs to stop bursting pipelines to steal crude oil. Gamkwet also said an illegal refining site was destroyed at Idama community and 4 boats which was found loaded with illegal refined products were equally destroyed. According to him, missions were conducted over Obomkiri community where an active illegal refining site was identified and destroyed, while at Arubana community, the oil thieves were found trying to set up an illegal refining site and on site in the approaching aircraft, they scampered to safety. Edo State Governor Mr. Godwin Obaseke will take Nigeria delegation to Italy, where he will be conferred with the Commissioner of the Nigerian Pavilion at the 60th International Art Exhibition organized by Le Biennale de Venezia. The governor was nominated by the federal government to lead a Nigerian delegation scheduled to take place in the Veneto region of Italy from April 16th to 18th, 2024. A statement described the tour as a landmark success in promoting rich culture, arts and heritage, and advancing the economic potential of tourism in Edo State. The statement said Edo State and its capital city, Benin City, have been a main heritage and cultural artistic hub in Nigeria for centuries, and Governor Godwin Obaseke has a strong desire to support arts and culture. The cultural hub is intended to span a large expanse of land that will bring in new structures, and also accommodate existing ones such as the National Museum Benin City. The development of the cultural district is intended to expand the cultural and creative industries to attract tourists to the country and would further facilitate cooperation in technical and vocational training, advance opportunities in the agricultural sector, enhance information technology capacity, promote tourism, increase economic opportunities in the textile industry, and promote social and cultural relationships between Nigeria and Italy. Pensioners in Akwa Ibom State are urging Governor Umo Eno to implement the payment of increased pension arrears for those who retired before 2012. Eno has approved increments in the pension of all those retired before 2012, and the implementation is due to start at the end of April. The pensioners applaud the governor in a statement signed by the secretary Obong Cosmos Etienne, saying his action had ended the era of pensioners collecting 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira monthly in the state, and urged him to rather start the implementation in arrears so that members could feel the impact of his kind gesture. The state secretary said the pensioners, after rejoicing with the news, never benefited as the implementation was stalled until the recent intervention of ENO, urging him to start with the implementation of the payment of the outstanding arrears of 1 year. The pensioners also advocated for the establishment of a pension board or bureau for easy administration and handling of pension matters, stressing that the creation will help the government manage pension matters with ease and efficiency. Analysts have stressed the need for both the federal and state governments to collaborate in conserving the nation's physical environment and its resources against degradation and pollution. Speaking on Atlantic ATN Sunday, a public affairs analyst, Dei Majerd, said the federal government has a very significant role to play in protecting the nation's natural environment through sustainable measures.
In the environment is protecting our economy, is also protecting the livelihood of millions of Nigerians, and illegal exploitation of our resources, especially our forests, is dangerous. The federal government have a very significant and critical role to play in protecting these natural resources that God has given.
Also speaking, Henry Ekine urged government to, at all levels, to prioritize environmental protection and sustainability in the country.
Whether it's the federal government, the state government, or any level of government, yes, in that regard, a whole lot to be done, whether institutional, legal, or diplomatic relations, yes, as my colleague has mentioned. But there's something very fundamental that I have to state before even responding directly to that. Environmental protection and sustainability should be a serious concern to developing countries, more than even the advanced countries. We have the federal institutional, really. We have the Federal Ministry of Environment. We have that ministry at state levels. So it's the primary responsibility of those institutions of government, those ministries, to have direct, if you like, supervisory, or if you like, some sort of oversight with respect to the activities of humans, as would have.
This is coming after conservationists in Cross River State appealed to the federal and state governments to urgently intervene in the daily plundering of the state forests following the increasing number of undocumented Chinese businessmen involved in illegal wood logging. Lawmaker representing Ukwano Umuahia North Umuahia South Federal Constituency in Abia State, Obinna Agwocha, is urging President Bola Tinubu to utilize his office to secure the release of detained indigenous people of Biafra leader, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu. Kanu has been in detention since his extradition in June 2020, facing charges of alleged terrorism by the federal government, despite the 2022 Court of Appeal order for his release on health grounds, while the federal government appealed to the Supreme Court, directing Kanu to resume trial at the Federal High Court, and has remained in the detention facility of the Department of State Services. A statement issued in Abuja, Agwocha, a member of the Labour Party, emphasized that there is no justification for Kanu's continued custody, especially when others like Godwin Emefiele, Omoyele Sowore, and Sunday Igboho are free, and concluded by advocating for Kanu's unconditional release, stressing that justice should be equal for all citizens. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Torid Labaja has ordered a probe into the death of a hotel manager in Abia State, Ajimugu James Etubi. This is coming after some personnel of the Nigerian Army allegedly tortured Etubi, which resulted in his death, while a Nigerian Air Force cadet, Emmanuel Onyemerechi, reportedly drowned in the hotel's swimming pool. The Army, in a statement directed by Army Public Relations, Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, said the service was concerned about the allegations reported in the news against its men, and the Chief of Army Staff has directed an investigation into the incident to unravel the circumstances surrounding the death of Etubi. The statement also said the Nigerian army is deeply concerned by the alleged unprofessional conduct of some of its personnel in the tragic death of a hotel manager in Umuahia, Abia State, and in response to the unfortunate incident, the Chief of Army Staff has promptly ordered a comprehensive investigation to ascertain the facts and bring to book anyone found culpable. Former governor of Anambra State, Senator Chris Ngige, has mourned the death of a former governor of Abia State, Dr. Obonnaya Onu, who died last Thursday. He described the death of the former Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Exit, as an unquantifiable loss, not only to the southeast but also to the entire country. The former Minister of Labor and Employment, who disclosed this in his hometown in Alo, said Dr. Obonnaya Onu was one of the arrowheads that helped in dismantling the 16-year-old rule of the People's Democratic Party. Ngige recalled with nostalgia their first meeting in 1993 when Onu was the governor of Abia State on the platform of the National Republican Convention and the president of the Igbo Socio-Economic Think Tank, aka Ikenga, gathered to discuss Southeast regional integration. 23 inmates of the Enugu Custodial Center bagged master's, first degree and postgraduate diploma of the National Open University of Nigeria. While 5 of them bagged master's degrees, 17 bagged their first degrees and 1 got a postgraduate diploma. State coordinator of NOUN, Nigerian Correctional Service, Mrs. Jennifer Nwoyi, who presented the degrees and diploma to the graduates at the virtual convention held at the Enugu Custodial Center, said the graduates have defied all odds to attain the great height. Speaking at the ceremony, Mr. Sunday Oyakire, Deputy Controller of Corrections in charge of Enugu Maximum Custodial Center, thanked NOUN for organizing the courses and for providing facilitators. In his remark, Mr. Arinzechuku Onova, the Correctional Center's Desk Officer for NOW programs, encouraged the graduates to continue to search for knowledge, saying it is the key to unlock many potentials. Analysts have criticized PDP and APC chieftains in Ebonyi State for focusing more on politics at the risk of creating sustainable job employment as dividends of democracy for the people, thereby taking advantage of the people's right for social provision. Speaking on Atlantic ATN Saturday on socio-political analyst G. Wohale expressed disappointment at the response from the political gladiators who said that unemployment in Ebonyi State has been put under sustainable control and lasting measures.
They are not. The PDP is actually not talking with the intent that he has the love for the people or he is feeling the pain of the people. He is not talking with that intent. The APC is also not talking with the intent, even his inner mind bears in witness that he's not saying the truth. You know, in this part of the world, they see the people to be docile and taking advantage of the docility of the people.
G. Wohale also said most political gladiators across the country do not consider the interests of the masses who voted to power.
There is now a swap, and the PDP chieftain is now in APC, and the APC person is now in PDP. You now see that the PDP chieftain will start talking like this APC, while this APC will start talking like that of the PDP. So everything gears towards their political ambition. They are trying to impress the people, not that they have the people in them.
This is coming after the governorship candidates of the People's Democratic Party for the March 18, 2023 elections in Ebonyi State, Dr. Ifeanyi Odi, recently decried the increasing rate of poverty, hunger and unemployment in the state and urged party faithful to work together for the development of the state. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has called on Nigerians to refrain from speaking ill comments against the country. Sanwo-Olu gave the advice at a program to mark the 2024 Eid-el-Fitr celebration at the Lagos House, Ikeja. The governor, who was represented by his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, urged Nigerians to change their thoughts and speak positivity about the country, adding that God would not change anything for society until the people decide to change their minds for good. He also said the citizens should stop cursing the country so that God would change it for the better, and urged Nigerians to believe in their current leaders and pray for them and the country. Sanwo-Olu harped on the children being respectful while reiterating that it was the responsibility of parents to raise the children in the way of God. Lagos State Police Command says a 25-year-old suspected cultist has died from cold clash in Ajegunle part of Lagos. The command spokesperson, SP Benjamin Hondeyin, who disclosed this, said police has arrested 2 suspects in connection with the clashes, noting that suspected cultists of Nasamu and Iyolade streets at Ajegunle were engaging themselves in a free-for-all. According to him, the suspected cultists damaged 6 commercial vehicles at Boundary Roundabout at Ajegunle during the clash. He said normalcy had been restored to the affected areas, while foods and vehicular patrols are being deployed to forestall any further threats to law and order. The police also said investigation was ongoing while efforts were on to arrest the fleeing cultists. Operatives attached to the Rapid Response Squad of the Lagos State Police Command have arrested the dispatch rider Matthew Oda for selling 3 iPhones worth 1.7 million naira entrusted to him for delivery. A statement on its X handle, Matthew Oda was working as a dispatch rider, collected 1 iPhone 14 Pro Max, 128 gigabytes, and 2 iPhone 11, 128 and 68 gigabytes, meant for delivery to a customer in Lekki, Lagos. On collecting the consignment, bolted and switched off his phone. However, a sustained discreet investigation into the matter led to his arrest at Lemon Bus Stop, Alpha Beach, Lagos. While also arrested with him were the 2 buyers, while one of the iPhones was recovered. Police said the suspects will be detained until the conclusion of investigation and subsequent prosecution. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde says his administration has paid another tranche of 2 million naira to the immediate past All Progressive Congress local government chairman in the state as part of their entitlements. This is coming after the state government had in 2021 released a sum of 1 billion naira to the ex-chairman in fulfillment of the Supreme Court judgment that the sacked chairman be paid their entitlements. The governor disclosed this at the burial and Thanksgiving service in honor of Mama Ruth Dare, mother of former Minister of Youth and Sports Sunday Dare, held at Sabo Baptist Church in Ogbomosho. Said the money will put an end to the long-drawn battle the ex-organ members had with him following the sack in 2019. The governor also said he will return to Ogbomosho in a few weeks to commission the 78.6-kilometer Ogbomosho-Iseyi-Fapute Road, named after Governor Adebayo Alao Akala. His Eminence Cardinal John Onayekan, the Archbishop Emeritus of Abuja Catholic Archdiocese, has advised Nigerians to live a life that would be impactful to humanity so they could be remembered after death. Onayekan, who disclosed this at a service of songs organized for the late former governor of Anambra State, Dr. Chukwuemeka Ezeife, in Abuja, charged people to live upright lives and be prepared for their last days on earth. He urged the congregation to always remember that there was life after death, saying what one did with his life on earth would determine what happened in the afterlife. He also said death was the end of life and an inevitable reality of life, adding that the death of an old person should be celebrated by those he left behind. Niger State Governor Mohamed Umaru Bago has declared a state of emergency on terror and directed security agencies to deal with anyone trying to disrupt the peace in the state. The governor gave the directive during the annual mini Dubai organized by former Niger State Governor and Tauban Mina Dr. Mauzi Babangida Aliyu, adding that the state government will not condone any form of criminal activity in the state, as the administration has zero tolerance for rascality and thuggery. He ordered the security agencies to deal decisively with anyone caught up in thuggery or other criminal activities, stressing that sponsors of the criminal elements will also not be spared, even as buildings warehousing criminals would be demolished. Speaking at the annual Mini Duba, the governor applauded Dr. Babangida Aliyu for upholding tradition and the rich cultural heritage of horse riding, and reiterated that it has been an avenue for strengthening bonds and unity among the citizenry. He used the occasion to call on the people in the state to come together, regardless of party affiliation, for the overall development of the state. Aisha Galadima, a strong political ally of the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, had been arrested in Kaduna State. The arrest was connected to a post on a Facebook page criticizing Governor Obasani before she was picked up by the operatives of the Department of State Service from a residence on Sunday afternoon. The development was confirmed by one of her brothers, who said Aisha has just been arrested by DSS at her Tundin Wadan residence in Kaduna. Taraba State government has warned principals, head teachers and examination officers plotting against the state's education policy to desist from such acts. The Commissioner of Education, Augustina Goodwin, who disclosed the discovery followed activities some principals and examination officers would have been surcharging students despite the government's settlement of students for West African examination certificate examination fees. Goodwin said the government would not hesitate to bring persons caught to book, while some principals and examination officers have been suspended from their areas of primary assignments following their involvement in the allegation. This is coming after some students from most of the schools visited have raised the alarm on how they have been denied the opportunity to benefit from the forthcoming WAEC that has been paid for by the state government, accusing their principals and examination officers of deliberately sabotaging the system. The student also alleged that some principals and examination officers expunged the names and replaced them with external candidates who agreed to compensate them handsomely. Adamawa Police Command says it has arrested an 18-year-old suspect for stabbing his friend to death during a dispute. The statement shared on the command's X account said both individuals were rushed to the hospital after a knife fight, where one was confirmed dead. The command spokesperson, SP Suleiman Ngoroje, said the command is investigating the incident and more details would be provided. Violent clash during the recent Salah celebration in Bauchi State has killed 4 people, including the son of a traditional ruler. Eyewitness said the clash, which occurred between 2 local security groups, Yamba Belly, an armed group fighting bandits, and a group of hunters accompanying the district head of Miri, left many injured. He also said that Yamba Belly disrupted the procession without provocation after assaulting some of the horse riders with sticks, which angered the traditional ruler's entourage, while the hunters accompanying the district head in retaliation fired their Dane guns into the air, hitting 2 Yamba Belly members, leading to further escalation of the incident. Incidentally, the son of the district head was hit by a sharp object which inflicted a serious injury on his head, leading to his death. The police is investigating the matter, while the state governor, Senator Bala Mohammed, had paid a condolence visit to the palace of the district head of Miri, Mal Hassani Abubakar, over the death of his son, Muhammadu Ghani. Islamic movement in Nigeria, also known as Shiite, led by Ibrahim el-Zakzaki, has complained to the Borno State Police Command there was no plan by the group to cause mayhem in the state. The police, in a wireless message, claimed that the Borno State Command had intelligence reports indicating that the Islamic movement in Nigeria had vowed to avenge the alleged killings of its members by the police in Kaduna State and was planning to attack police officers at vulnerable locations, especially in hotels, beer parlors, black spots, residences, and checkpoints. He said the group had never avenged the attacks on its members since its inception, adding that it is illogical, unreasonable, and incompatible to avenge a crime committed in Kaduna by people very well known to the movement of innocent police operatives in the corners of Borno State. The Islamic movement of Nigeria also condemned the claim by the police that the group had an armed wing while citing the 2014 and 2015 massacres of its members under former Presidents Goodluck Jonathan and Muhammadu Buhari's administrations. Senate Minority Leader Abba Moro says the ongoing call for the removal of the People's Democratic Party's acting national chairman, Umar Damagun, said the call is needless. This is coming after about 60 lawmakers in the House of Representatives, led by Ikenga Ugochinyere, called for Damagun's resignation, but the minority leadership of the Green Chamber disowned them, describing their coalition as unknown to the lower chamber. Morris said the calling for the resignation of the acting party chairman is not a viable solution, adding that the party is a voluntary organization and urges members to focus on strengthening their unity rather than engaging in divisive actions. He acknowledged the frustration among party members and attributed them to the fallout from the PDP's failure to win elections in 2023, stressing that the lack of frequent meetings by the party's elective council has contributed to the party's current state of discontent. However, a coalition comprising support groups within the PDP in Nasarawa State and PDP frontliners are demanding for the national chairmanship position to be filled by Obungadu, adding that even adversaries of the PDP recognize the party as a cohesive, well-organized and structured political entity that upholds the principles of federal character, justice, equity and fairness in Nigeria. President of the Nigerian Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has called for unity among the leaders of the All Progressive Congress in the South-South region. He disclosed this when he received state chairman of the APC from South-South in Abuja. Akpabio acknowledged challenges being faced by the chairman, promising that a stakeholders meeting will be convened in no distant time with political office holders from the zone to chart a way forward as a way of engendering unity and understanding amongst all party members to foster social cohesion between the party and elected as well as appointed officials in government. He assured the party leaders that President Bola Tinubu's administration will ensure economic prosperity in the nation. Senator Akpabio also used the opportunity to appreciate Tinubu for the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road, describing it as visionary in the scheme of things. Archbishop of Living Christ Mission, Most Reverend Professor Daddy Hezekiah, has commended the federal government for rejecting the practice of lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ in Nigeria. Archbishop Hezekiah, who disclosed these at his church administrative headquarters in Onitsha, Anambra State, said the practices of the LGBTQ community are very immoral, abominable, and highly destructive in nature. Daddy Hezekiah also urged the federal government to intensify efforts to combat insecurity across the country, adding that the land is becoming a serious concern for the average Nigerian. He also appealed to the federal government to reconsider the issue of the removal of petroleum subsidies because many Nigerians are suffering due to the removal, stressing that the decision has led to an unbearable increase in the prices of essential goods and services, including foodstuffs, transportation, other commodities, and exchange rates of the dollar and other currencies. He condemned the removal of the oil subsidy, stating that it has brought immense hardship to the populace, including civil servants whose salaries has remained stagnant, stressing that adequate measures must be taken to mitigate the adverse effects of the subsidy removal on oil and electricity. Troops across various theaters of operation in the country in separate operations said they have recovered a total of 66,692 arms and ammunition from non-state actors. A breakdown of the figures said a total of 3,117 dangerous arms and 63,575 ammunition were captured by troops, while the non-state actors, the arms and ammunition recovered from terrorists, bandits, kidnappers, and indigenous people of Biafra combatants, among others. The figures are based on the reported recoveries made by troops during the operations in various theaters between January and April 2024, while the arms recovered during this period include 1,619 AK-47 rifles, 24 automatic pump-action guns, and 47 locally fabricated guns, amongst others. The proliferation of arms and ammunition in the country has been attributed to the alarming increase in crime rates, while non-state actors such as terrorists, bandits, kidnappers, and other criminal elements have easily carried out their deadly operations as a result of easy access to dangerous weapons, and experts have suggested a serious mop-up of weapons in circulation in the country, especially the enchantment of security at our porous borders and stricter regulation on firearms, amongst others. According to a 2023 report by SBM Intelligence and African Focus Market, as well as Security Intel Gathering and Strategic Consulting Firm, an estimated 6.1 million small arms are in the possession of non-state actors. Human Rights Writers Association has advised President Bola Tinubu to discontinue the plans for the issuance of a new national identity card, describing the planned exercise as a misuse of public funds. The group also said the plan showed a lack of national strategy to formulate and implement beneficial public policies governing the issuance of the ID. Harua's national coordinator, Emmanuel Owumbiko, in a statement said on April 5, 2024, the National Identity Management Commission announced its collaboration with the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System to launch a new card having multiple functionalities, including for social and financial services. The management of the commission said had also clarified in a note on Friday titled Key Facts about the proposed new general multipurpose national identity card that the new ID card would be a single multipurpose card and not three separate cards, while Harua questioned how 133 million poor Nigerians suffering from crushing poverty will be compelled to maintain working bank accounts to enable them to collect the so-called single national ID. The group urged the government to rather adopt the international passport as the most critical ID card. You are watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break.
people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable
They are not picking our calls.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring honest pop news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Welcome back. This is Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. In view of the April 23rd resumption dates for the Easter and Eid al-Fitr holidays by members of the National Assembly, the newly remodeled main hallowed chambers in the Senate and House of Representatives are now ready for plenary by the lawmakers. Specifically, the senators and honorable members will be vacating the present temporary chambers for the main ones as from the next week Tuesday. This is coming after 19 months of holding plenary sessions at the temporal chambers since September 2022 by the lawmakers in both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Spokesperson of the House of Representatives, Akin Rotimi Jr., and the Clerk of the Senate, Barrister Chinedu Akubweze, confirmed the planned movements to the main chambers in separate written announcements made by penultimate week on the change in resumption date by the lawmakers from their ongoing recess. Rotimi, who is a chairman, House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, in the official announcement dated April 4th, 2024, cited the need to resume plenary at the renovated and reconfigured main chambers as reason for the postponement in the line with general wish of the lawmakers. Business. Chairman and Managing Director of Protege Global Services, Ademola Agoro, has the Minister of Power, Chief Adeboyo Adelabu, in this meter manufacturing factory in Abuja, the Oyo State capital. Ogoro, who took the minister and his entourage on a tour of the various sections of the factory, noting that the company currently runs on about 1.2 billion units of meter production capacity per year. He said the minister's visit was timely and encouraging as it signals potential collaboration to enhance the company's production capacity. Adding that all meters, including single, double, and three-phase meters, as well as maximum demand meters, feeder meters, and distribution transformer meters produced at Protege Global Services are smart meters that can be controlled remotely by consumers. He expressed delight at the minister's visit, which he said was entirely on a fact-finding mission, adding that local meter manufacturers in the country will be encouraged by the deepened synergy and collaborations occasioned by such a visit, as he hopes his company gets patronage from the federal government of Nigeria. Speaking on the ease of doing business in Nigeria and the challenges faced by local meter manufacturers, Agoro highlighted two key challenges: the foreign exchange rate, which is due to the importation of electronic components for their meters, and the high cost of diesel to power the factory for production, which adds up to production cost. The minister, who expressed satisfaction at what he saw at the factory in terms of quality, standard, and sophistication, said patronizing local meter manufacturers in Nigeria will ease the pressure of local currency, adding that the topmost of all the support is a patronage by the government to ensure that all the productions are not just sitting in their various warehouses as stocks. 4 pharmaceutical firms listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 2023 following the weakening of the Naira resulted in a combined foreign exchange loss of 8.31 billion naira. The 2023 financial statement of GlaxoSmithKline Consumer Nigeria, Neiman International Pharmaceuticals, Fitsun Healthcare and May and Baker Nigeria, filed on the Nigerian exchange, said GlaxoSmithKline Consumer Nigeria, which has decided to end manufacturing operations in the country after it had the worst forex loss among the pharmaceutical companies in 2023, losing 4.52 billion naira instead of the 935,000 naira loss it recorded in 2022. GSK said in August last year that it would stop its 51-year operations in the country and transition to the third-party direct distribution model for its pharmaceutical products. The Chief Executive Officer of High Carb Securities, David Adorin, said the sudden transition from a semi-fixed exchange rate to the floating of the naira caused the forex loss that the pharmaceutical firms suffered in 2023. The naira suffered significant depreciation last year following the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria to harmonize the different segments of the forex market on June 14th, while the local currency lost 92.6% of its value between June 14th and December 31st, 2023, closing the year at 907.11 naira per dollar. Federal government says about 85% of Nigerians still enjoy electricity subsidy in the country, while over 1 trillion naira would be saved from the first tariff hike. He stated this in response to the reactions from Nigerians over the increments in electricity tariff recently announced for Band A customers by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. This is coming after NERC had on April 3rd said the tariff increment for Band A power consumers from 68 naira to 222 naira per kilowatt hour with immediate effect, while the regulator had said the new tariff signified a removal of electricity subsidy for Band A consumers who constitute about 15% of the total number of power users across the country. The statement issued by the Special Assistant of Media, Rabiu Ibrahim, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said 85% of the Nigerian population who fall under different categories of the new electricity supply regime will enjoy the subsidy, stressing that the disappropriation amount of electricity subsidy, approximately 40%, was benefiting only about 15% of the electricity consumer population, comprising affluent individuals and industrial clusters who enjoy about 20 hours of electricity. The minister also said the new Electricity Act, signed by President Tinubu, has strengthened the governance structure of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission and empowered the agency to place severe sanctions on electricity distribution companies for infractions relating to billings and supply of electricity to consumers. Federal government, in partnership with the International Criminal Police Organization, have commenced the extradition process of 2 Indians, Jatindra Malhotra and Satya Malhotra, over an alleged fraudulent $25 million transfer deal. The move followed the failure of the father and son, who are the chairman and managing director of a company, Transformers and Rectifiers India Limited, to honor an invitation by the Nigerian police force over an indicting petition written against them, while details of the extradition requests were contained in a document written by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Justice, to Interpol through the Inspector General of Police. In the petition signed by Abubakar Ndakeni, the law firm called for the investigation of the chairman of Transformers and Rectifiers India Limited, Jitendra Malhotra, on red alert notice, which led to the arrest of Jatindra Malhotra in Italy. However, following the detention of Jatindra Malhotra in Italy, he was moved to India, and the India Interpol notified Interpol Nigeria for his arrival and requests that Interpol Nigeria follow diplomatic channels for the extradition of the suspect. Organized labor, comprising the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress, are demanding 651,000 naira as the new minimum wage for workers in the country. Executives of organized labor who did not want to be named said the renewed wage of 615,000 naira monthly was reached after consultation by the NLC and TUC, while a member of one of the subcommittees set up by the government to work on getting a new minimum wage for the country said the wage might still increase following the recent hike in electricity tariff. This is coming after President Bola Tinubu, through Vice President Kashim Shettima, had on January 30th set up a 37-member panel at the council chamber of the State House in Abuja, with its membership cutting across federal and state governments, the private sector and organized labor. The panel was tasked with recommending a new national minimum wage. At the inaugural meeting of the panel, Shettima urged members to speedily arrive at a resolution and submit the reports early, as the current 30,000 naira minimum wage expired at the end of March 2024. However, labor leaders said the NLC and TUC had pegged the new wage at 615,000 naira tentatively. Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission says it will not hesitate to take actions against businesses engaging in price fixing. It highlighted the strain this act places on consumers' well-being and economic stability and urged citizens to report such practices. The Commission disclosed these in a statement posted on its official X handle, acknowledges that the rising cost of essential goods impacts consumers' well-being and economic stability, adding that they are committed to safeguarding consumers' interests and ensuring fair market practices, necessitating fair pricing. The Commission also said arbitrary price increases stemming from untoward practices like price gouging and conspiracy to manipulate supply violate existing laws, noting that the Commission will not hesitate to invoke Section 17 of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act 2018 against any perpetrator of such acts. He said the section prohibits obnoxious trade practices and unscrupulous exploitation of consumers and urged Nigerians to stay vigilant and report any unfair trade practices they encounter. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project is urging President Bola Tinubu to disclose the agreement and spending details of loans obtained by the administration of the Nigerian past presidents since May 1999. SERAP urged Tinubu to direct appropriate ministries, departments and agencies to provide the organization with copies of the loan agreement obtained by the governments of former presidents Olusegun Obasanjo, Umaru Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan and Muhammadu Buhari. A statement issued by the organization's deputy director, Kolawole Oluwadari, demands the spending details of any such loans as well as the interest and other payments so far made on the loans, especially Nigeria's four past democratically elected presidents, including Obasanjo, who ruled for 8 years from 1999 to 2007. SERAP said the details provided may help to explain why, despite several millions of dollars in loans obtained by successive governments and also investigated by millions of Nigerians, continue to face extreme poverty and lack access to basic public goods and services. However, SERAP has also advised President Tinubu to establish an independent audit on the spending of the loans obtained by the government of the former president and make its results available to the public, stressing that democracy requires accountability and accountability requires transparency to justify the performances in governments. United Nations says it is planning to support NGO Global Center for Empowerment and Care for Life Challenges to build 400,000 housing units across the 36 states of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory. The move, according to the center, is part of efforts towards meeting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, goals number 9 and 11, which are innovation and infrastructure, and sustainable cities and communities, respectively, in Nigeria by 2030. Speaking at the project's public launch in Kaduna State, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Center, Dr. Vincent Ejikeme Abo, said under the project, 10,000 housing units will be built in each of the 36 states and the FCT in 2 phases, adding that the project, which will in the nearest future be extended to other African countries, will stimulate socio-economic and developmental efforts of the country's federal and state governments. According to Chairman, the vision and mission in the Incorporated Global Center for Empowerment and Care for Life Challenges is in tandem with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals to promote, advocate, initiate, enlighten, and create beneficial interest for the general public towards real estate housing and industrial development within the purview of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 9 and 11. He also said his team has begun interacting with governors of the 36 states and the minister of the FCT to ensure smooth execution of the project. You're still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next, international tidbits. Spokesperson to President Bola Tinubu, Bayo Onanuga, says the United States of America and the United Kingdom owe the world the responsibility for peace in the Middle East. Onanuga said the UK and the US should ensure that the Israeli response to Iranian drones and missiles is not disproportional. His statement is contained in a post on his X handle. The view is his personal opinion and doesn't come from the presidency where he serves, adding that Israel witnessed an unprecedented airstrike from Iran on Saturday, being a retaliation against the Israeli attack on its consul in Syria. Israelis breathed easier in the early hours of Sunday after an unprecedented air attack from Iranian drones and missiles largely fizzled in the face of the Jewish state's powerful air defenses, with assistance from the U.S. military and other allies, stressing that the conflict would degenerate, urging the UK and the US to mediate. According to him, there is a need for caution all round, adding that with Gaza yet unresolved, the world does not want another war in the Middle East. Hamas, the leading Palestinian militant group, says it is an ally of the Iran and unsurprisingly defended Tehran's drone and missile attack on Israel that began on Saturday. Hamas and Israel have been in a 6-month-long war with so much destruction recorded. Iran, in retaliation to the attack on its embassy in Syria, which led to the death of some of the country's top officials, launched over 300 drone and missile attacks toward Israel on Saturday. Hamas was the first to attack Israel, killing about 1,200 people and abducting another 250, while more than 33,000 Palestinians have been killed and over 76,000 injured in retaliatory Israeli strike on Gaza since 7th October. Israeli military has carried out series of airstrikes on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. The development came hours after Iran launched its barrage of missiles and drones against Israel, while a fresh wave of Israeli attacks targeted at Hezbollah weapons manufacturing facility as well as other targets. Israel is yet to strike Iran directly following the attack, and the country's ultimate plan for a response remains unclear. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed last week to respond to any Iranian assault in kind. Meanwhile, President Biden reportedly advising Israel not to retaliate, given that its air defenses shot down roughly 99% of Iran's 300 missiles and drones during Saturday's attack. Biden reaffirmed U.S. support for Israel in a Saturday night call with Netanyahu. Several Iranian airports, including Tehran's Imam Khomeini international airports have cancelled flights until Monday. The development followed the crisis between Iran and Israel, and the airport executive said all flights from Tehran's Imam Khomeini International Airport have been cancelled until following an announcement by the Iran Civil Aviation Organization. According to Iran's Airports and Air Navigation Company, domestic flights from Tehran's Murabad Airport and airports in Shiraz, Isfahan, Bushehr, Kerman, Ilam and Sanadaj have also been cancelled until Monday morning as the country's western airspace remained off limits to flights. Major airlines across the Middle East have announced the cancellation of some of their flights while having to reroute others through Israel reopened its airspace on Sunday, while Beirut Airport also reopened in the morning, and flights in and out of the Lebanese capital have reportedly resumed. Tehran has warned it will strike again with greater force if Israel or the U.S. retaliate for the Iranian strike on Israel by more than 300 drones and missiles on Saturday night, and Iran had summoned the French, British, and German ambassadors to Tehran on Sunday for reactions to Iran's missile and drone attack on Israel. President Joe Biden says the U.S. forces helped take down nearly all the drones and missiles fired by Iran at Israel, adding that he had reaffirmed his ironclad support to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Biden, in a statement, said he would convene his fellow leaders of the G7 group of wealthy nations to coordinate a united diplomatic response to Iran's brazen attack. He also said he had ordered U.S. military aircraft and ballistic missile defense destroyers to the Middle East in recent days as a likely Iranian threat to the key U.S. ally became clear, adding that he had spoken to Netanyahu to reaffirm America's ironclad commitment to Israel's security. Australian police officer has been commended as a hero by the country's Prime Minister after she confronted and shot dead a man who fatally stabbed 6 people at a Sydney shopping centre. Police described how the officer, Inspector Amy Scott, bravely tracked attacker Joe Cauchi through the mall, challenged him and shot him dead after he raised his knife towards her. 12 others, including a 9-month-old girl, have been treated in hospital after the rampage. Police says 5 of the 6 killed in the attack were women, while a baby underwent surgery and a mother, Ashley Good, is among the dead, her family has confirmed. Here now is ATN Sports News. Ekerson Okorie plans a return to the Bayelsa United squad for their clash against Katsina United after an injury layoff. Okorie was previously sidelined with a knee injury and rejoined the rest of his teammates in training this week. Okorie is expected to feature for the Prosperity Boys in the matchday 30th tie against Katsina United and has scored 5 goals for Bayelsa United this season. Bayelsa United will host Katsina United at the Samson Siasia Stadium on Tuesday. Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur have made a move to sign Tosin Adarabioyo on a pre-contract deal. Adarabioyo will become a free agent at the end of the season as he is yet to sign a new contract with Fulham. The Nigerian-born defender joined Fulham from Manchester City in 2022, signing a 3-year contract, and his centre-back has refused offers of a new contract from the Whites and looks destined to move elsewhere. Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United are desperate to sign the player before the end of the season, while there is also interest in Adarabioyo from West Ham United and clubs outside England. Former England women's player Eniola Aluko is the first black woman to own a club in Italy. Aluko has acquired a major stake in FC Como's female team. The 37-year-old confirmed this in a post on her X page, where she said she is a part of the $100 million ownership group known as Mercury 13, which acquired a majority stake. Como Women was only established in 2020, and they use a 3,700 capacity stadium and currently play in the top flight of the Italian Series A. Eniola, who is the sister of former Super Eagles player Sonny Aluko, was born in Lagos to Nigerian parents in 1987, and she eventually naturalized to England and played for the Three Lionesses. Frank Onyeka is delighted after scoring his maiden Premier League goal for Brentford. Onyeka made an instant impact for the Bees after coming on as a late substitute in the 2-1 win against Sheffield United at the Gete Community Stadium on Saturday. The defensive midfielder slotted home in the 3rd minute of added time to help the home team claim a 2-0 victory. It was Thomas Frank's side's first win in the last 9 Premier League games. Onyeka took to social media to celebrate the win and his goal, and Brentford eased their relegation worries following the win, moving to 14th position on the table. And now, entertainment news. Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau has commenced a comprehensive investigation into the tragic boat accident that occurred on Annam River in Anambra State on Wednesday, April 10, 2024. The NSIB's investigation aims to uncover the circumstances leading to the accident, identifying any factors contributing to the incident, and recommend measures to prevent similar tragedies in future. NSIB Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Bimbo Oladeji, who disclosed this in a statement, said, last week 5 people, including renowned Nollywood actor Paul Odowodo, professionally known as Gino Pope, Abigail Frederick, Precious Ofuru, and Joseph Anointing, were killed when a speedboat carrying 12 film crew members and a boat operator tragically collided with a canoe on the Annam River in Anambra State. The Anambra State Police Command issued a statement indicating that they had recovered the bodies of 3 victims of a boat accident, while the accident also prompted the Actors Guild of Nigeria to bar actors under its franchise from shooting movies in riverine areas and participating in boat rides. In the statement, Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau Director General Captain Alex Bade said an investigation team has been dispatched to the accident site and an inquiry has begun, noting that it will collaborate with relevant authorities, including the Marine Police Section of the Anambra State Police Command, maritime authorities, and industry experts during the investigation. Actress and filmmaker Mary Remi Njoku is not happy with those who blame widows for their husband's death. The mother of 3, via her Instagram page, questioned why Nigerians use every chance to criticize grieving widows, adding that even when her husband died in a plane crash along with other victims, some would still find a way to blame it on the wife, believing that she orchestrated it spiritually. According to her, she frustrated him, and he boarded the flight to find peace in the air. Actor Yul Edochie has revealed his profound familiarity with pain, describing it as a great teacher. Following the tragic loss of some of his colleagues in the Nollywood industry, he shared insights gained from his encounters with pain, adding that the pain has served as a reminder of the temporary nature of life. He said the importance of showing love and compassion towards one another underscores the uncertainty of people's time on earth. Bellumi Nubi, a media personality who undertook a solo drive from London to Lagos, has shared the motivations behind her bold adventure. According to her, she aspired to inspire other women to break out of their comfort zones and embrace new experiences, and recounted facing various challenges during her journey, including an accident at one stage, before ultimately reaching Lagos on April 7th, 2024. Speaking on her plans, the travel enthusiast said traveling is something she enjoys doing and will continue to do, adding that we need to do better to make sure it is freer to travel around Africa. Nigeria singer Wonder Button says he wrote his colleague telling them that Davido has no competition featuring Ashake. Wonder Button also said he produced Davido's No Money featuring Angelique Kidjo and the Cavemen, and in the latest episode of the Afrobeats podcast hosted by Adesop, Wonder Button said popular skit maker and singer Nasboy inspired him to do music while he was dating his sister. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at our major stories. Military destroys illegal refining sites in Rivers State. DSS arrests El-Rufai's political ally over Governor Sani. Senators reps to resume plenary in newly remodeled chambers. FD says 85% of Nigerians enjoy electricity subsidy. Israel hits Hezbollah with airstrikes after Iran attack. Aluko is first black woman to own Italian club. NSIB probes